Hurry up, you two! It's time to review Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, a new puzzle game from Nintendo.
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is actually the first time the plucky little captain has had his own entire game. He has had a couple of cameos in earlier Mario games, but most of you probably know him best from Super Mario 3D World, where he had a few special puzzle stages. And it was these levels that provided the inspiration for this game.
We should point out that it's important not to confuse Captain Toad with the regular Toad characters.
Captain Toad is a slow and steady character who can't even jump because of his heavy backpack.
At first, you guys, I was worried whether Captain Toad's simplistic controls would actually work well for an entire game. But they've designed the levels so cleverly that his slow speed never bothered me. The levels are less about quick reflexes and more about figuring out how to navigate them.
Affirmative. As you'd expect from the game's title, the thing Captain Toad likes most is treasure. Gold coins are scattered quite generously around the levels, but the real prize are the 3 diamonds, which are much harder to get.
Yeah, the game trolls you a little bit with those diamonds, doesn't it? Many are sitting right out in plain view, but then figuring out how to actually get there can be a real challenge. Often it's about rotating the view so that you can find a path that was hidden.
I found working backwards from where I needed to be worked quite well. So the diamond's on that platform? Right, I need to drop down from above to get it. Skills.
Mad skills. The game also makes extensive use of the Wii U gamepad's touchscreen and gyroscope.
Yes, and at first I didn't like having to look at the touchscreen and the TV back and forth, but they've actually combined it quite well with the puzzles. Some platforms can be rotated with your finger, while others shift when you touch them, opening up new paths. I liked those ideas, but I did feel a bit silly blowing into the mic for the fan-powered bits.
Now, the gamepad has been a bit neglected lately, so it was nice to be reminded of just how many features it has. I'd almost forgotten that it can detect motion. And they use motion well here to let you aim around in mini shooting sequences. It was accurate even when I was spinning around. I can still get it.
As well as the normal puzzle levels, there are also some bosses to fight. Because of Captain Toad's limited maneuverability, the encounters are mostly obstacle courses with the added danger of a boss attacking you.
The boss levels look fantastic, but I was a little worried after I beat the second boss. Now, this is a bit of a spoiler.
Spoiler alarm! Spoiler alarm!
No, Darren, it's not that big a spoiler! We don't need the alarm!
Turn it off! Turn it off.
Thank you. So, what happens? You beat the second boss, and then the credits roll. I was pretty shocked because I'd only been playing for a couple of hours. But then you find out that episode 2 opens up right after this. So it's not really the end.
Yeah, it's an odd move putting the credits there because I could see a lot of people just turning it off and being disappointed, not realising that there's a whole second half of the game to go.
Technically, those credits aren't even the halfway point. There are significantly more levels in the game's second half. And then there are the bonus levels.
Yes, if the game detects you have a Mario 3D World save file on your console, then you get access to a handful of levels from that game that have been reworked for Captain Toad. That's a pretty cool trick.
But if you didn't have that save file, you'd have no way of knowing you were missing these levels.
It's almost as if the game goes out of its way to hide how much content it actually has. Episode 2 was a pleasant surprise, though. For this section, Toadette takes over as a heroine battling to save Captain Toad.
Affirmative. And the second episode is significantly more challenging too. The levels are generally larger and involve more complex strategies like flipping entire stages around or breaking open hidden sections. Some puzzles even took my CPU an entire 0.0000000000001 seconds to complete.
Right, well, I think they got the balance just right. I found that I'd have to tinker with the levels for a couple of minutes, moving things around until I figured it out. But the best part is, I never got frustrated or had to go look at a guide, and that made me happy.
Yeah, I had a really great time with this as well. These days it's rare to see Nintendo actually making a new franchise, but I can totally see this going on to become another classic series. I'm giving it 4 stars out of 5.
Yeah, this is excellent. I'm giving it 4 stars out of 5 as well.